Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of C-PTSD on the Road to Recovery with Pop Woodman, Healing Later in Life. And in today's episode, I just want to talk about the reasons I'm sharing these videos and share some things about me as I continue to share these with you. The reality is I am still in the very early stages of recovery from complex PTSD myself. Another term used for complex PTSD is childhood PTSD, because those of us who have C-PTSD, it comes from traumatic and neglectful childhood on up through to adulthood. So the videos that you see me putting out, I would say they're really all the videos I share are virtually in real time as I work my way through my own personal recovery. And I will be sharing the information that I glean through my recovery, through my study of the subject and what I'm learning about it and what changes are coming in my life through all this that I'm going through. My purpose is to be as authentic as possible in the presentation of what it is like to come to grips with C-PTSD. I said I just really discovered a year ago that's what my issues have been, and I started in Celebrate Recovery a little more than a year ago now. Worked through the 12 steps of that program, and along the way discovered what I was actually dealing with was my complex PTSD. And I continue to participate and celebrate recovery and starting our own group here at the Sterling Church of Christ. So this is me on the road to recovery, and I'm hoping that you will join me on this road to recovery. The reality is recovery from C-PTSD is not going to happen overnight. It can take quite a long time. It can take years, depending on how severe certain issues are and how long it takes to work through them, overcome them, and replace some of our behaviors with healthier behaviors, and so on. So that's really what this channel is about. I'm not an expert, but I know there's other men in my age group and older who have gone through the same kind of things I went through, and have perhaps life hasn't been all it could be because they haven't been all that God intended them to be because of C-PTSD. I know it has really hampered my life. I've done fairly well in spite of it, but as we say in Celebrate Recovery, there are character flaws, issues that continue to crop up in my life that I would really like to see go away. Will they go away permanently? Maybe, maybe not. But that's the reality of what I'm dealing with. My goal with this channel is to reach as many as possible, as many people as possible, both men and women. But my focus is on people that are coming to this conclusion later in life that this is what they've been dealing with. I'm 60 years old and really just getting down to dealing with this now. So that's a lifetime when you stop and think about it, of not having the best possible life that I could have had. And now I want what time I have left to be as good as possible so that I can be the best person I could be, the best husband, the best father, the best grandfather, the best brother. I want my life to be good and positive and enjoyable, and I want to help others to find that as well. So my goal is to reach as many as possible and show them that there are answers to the struggles that they face due to childhood trauma and neglect. And this is the root of complex PTSD. It is childhood trauma and neglect. And in some cases, this trauma continues from infancy into adulthood, depending on how close you are with those who abused or neglected you, whether it, and there's a whole lot that falls under the categories of abuse and neglect. I know my trauma really continued up into early 30s. It was continued dealing with issues from both parents until they both passed away. And only then did I really start to break away from those relationships that I should have. I had broke away from the relationship with my father very early. Reality is once I decided I was getting married, and I told my fiance at the time, "You will not meet my father, and neither will our children," because of the things he had done to my family. And I stuck to that. I wish I had forgiven him while he was alive, but I didn't. And he died alone and miserable because of the things he had done to so many people in his life. And I look back now, and the reason he did the things he did probably was because he suffered from childhood trauma and neglect as well, which translated into some pretty horrendous things in his adult life that he did to himself and that he did to others as well. And of course, I dealt with my mother longer. She's the one who raised me, and she was a source of that trauma and neglect as well, and continued that right up until she passed away. And her passing wasn't pleasant either. She died of pancreatic cancer, which, if you know anything about that, it's a very painful way to go. I was hoping all the way through to the end that she would try to make amends and apologize for the things that she had done to so many in her lifetime, but she didn't. She didn't talk anything about it, didn't want to deal with any of that kind of stuff, and it was sad to watch. But that's how she left this earth, and I don't want to leave this life the way my parents did. And that's my goal in seeking treatment for complex PTSD. I want to recover from it, and I want to leave my wife, my kids, my grandkids with good memories of me, so that they can see that I tried to do the best I could to love them and treat them well and care for them as I should. So, as you can tell, today's episode is a very personal one, and I'm sharing some personal information. And I'm doing this because I want this to be real for those that are watching. I want you to know that this is real, that I'm not making up stuff. I'm not just picking a topic I want to share about, but I'm going through this recovery process, and I'm going to take you with me. And I try really hard to share this with people around me. I share it with my Celebrate Recovery group, because a lot of the things that we call our hurts, habits, and hang-ups, come from our childhood, or things that developed in us as we were getting older and going out on our own and trying to discover life and so on. But one of the things is when I sit in a group discussion, the gentlemen share what they're struggling with, what they're recovering from, and a lot of the things they list actually fall under the complex PTSD diagnosis, but they're dealing with individual parts of that. But as we look at complex PTSD, it is multifaceted, and a lot of these things are that people seek out help for individual items, if you will. They are one of many things that those of us who have complex PTSD deal with on a regular basis. There's codependency, anger, drugs and alcohol, pornography, relationship issues, on and on it goes. And really, people who are dealing with complex PTSD usually end up dealing with the majority of these things in their life. It's not just one thing that's affecting them. It's a multitude of things that affects them. And, as a young man coming into my late teens and early 20s, I was, did the experimenting with alcohol and drugs and pornography and all that stuff. Those things have been out of my life for a long time, but they were my way of trying to cope with what I didn't know I had. I thought that was just how you dealt with life, and none of it was healthy. And I praise God that that's behind me, and that's not a part of what I'm dealing with today. But I still have a lot of issues with emotional regulation. Angry outbursts and stuff like that still happen to me, not as frequently as they did at one time, but they still do. And that's one of the ones in particular that I want to get rid of. Will it happen tomorrow? No, probably not. Will I have to endure and others endure some of the things going forward? Sorry to say, yes, they don't have to endure, but I know at times I impose my issues on others, and I really want to get away from that. I want a happy life, and I want to help others have a happy life too. So enough about me for now, but maybe you can relate to some of these things that I shared. So what the reality of my channel is, as I learn and heal, I want to help you do the same. And I really hope that if you get something from these videos, if you learn something from them, that you will share it, whether it be from my YouTube channel, my Facebook posts of this. Share with those that you think might benefit from what I'm sharing on here. My hope with this channel really is to bring light into the darkness that is complex PTSD. I want to help people see that there is a better way. I remember for years people would say, well, when I'd be in a real down state of mind and I might share it with somebody, whatever, well, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I would always say, yeah, but I'm afraid it's a train coming the other way. That's how dark it felt sometimes. But really, there is light in the darkness. And I want to help you find it as I find it. Well, that's what I wanted to share in episode 9. Lord willing, you'll come back for episode 10. And Lord willing, it will be next week. This one's a little late this week because I was dealing with a lot of different things, trying to prepare for the Celebrate Recovery here at our church building. So I ask that you bear with me as I continue to present these videos. God bless. And if you think you need help, seek it. If you want to reach out to me at any time, you can email me at leo.woodman@gmail.com. I'd be glad to respond to your emails and do what I can to help you through that. Take care. Talk to you soon.